Most people are told when you feel sad, sit at home, be sad. It's not your fault. You got a disease. You're depressed. Be a bitch about it. I argue the opposite. I say when you feel sad, good. Take all that energy and convert it into something that's going to be a positive force for your life.
Would you say that even we're also taught to like stuff it away and not not actually think about it, not actually go through it, not actually process it,
not embrace it and feel it? You should feel all of your emotions. If I feel sad, I embrace it and I feel it. I'll tell you right now, the largest monumental jumps in my life in terms of success is when I was pissed off or sad.
Yeah, I mean, bro, like I could tell you, like all the time I spent in the gym to build myself, I was using that stress, I was using that trauma to make myself better.
Completely.
And that's what made me who I am today.
Absolutely. But all the bad things that happen to you and make you feel in a bad way, some of those bad things that made me feel in a bad way were the most important energy sources for the most monumental jumps in my life. I think that if you look at any man who's very good at being a man, most of them have had extremely traumatic lives. Yeah. If you're going to talk about the most brave man you can think of, he's been through trauma. If you think of the best soldier you can think of, he's been through trauma. If you think about anything, the man who's going to charge into the burning building, the fireman, he's been through trauma. If you find a man who's never had any traumatic experiences, he's terrible at being a man. Yeah. He's weak and he's soft and he'll collapse and he's never struggled. I know me, and I don't want to tell a bunch of stories on the internet, but I know all the shit I went through and all the pain I had to suffer to become the man I am. And every time I meet another guy who has his life in order, it's the same story. This fucked me up, but I thought, fuck it, I'm gonna attack the world anyway. Yeah. And that's how it goes. So as a man, you're right. You have to be vulnerable, you have to feel it, you have to accept it, but you have to put it in a positive direction. This is what's so dangerous about what we were saying earlier, where people make excuses and externalize. Yeah. Because they're taking that trauma and that pain, instead of going, I fucked up. Discomfort that you just described has led to a massive positivity in your life. Absolutely. I can say the absolute same thing for fighting. I decided to go out and learn to fight to the level I learned to fight because I had a couple fights in school and I won them, but it was kind of close. And I was like, that was too close for comfort. And I thought, fuck it, I'm gonna go learn to fight. And it's absolutely often discomfort and trauma and bad things that will motivate you to go and do the most amazing things. Like we said earlier, you have to take the negativity and use it in a positive manner. Like we said about stress, it can go in different directions. I'll tell you right now, if you were to say to me, Andrew, you have to make double the money you're currently making, what's the number one emotion you want to feel to do it? I'd say heartbreak.
Yeah. Stress?
Break my heart. Break my heart. I can't sleep. I'm furious. Break my heart and I'll make a fucking $1 billion. Take all the negativity and turn it into positivity. So that trauma and all those bad things that happen to you can be very, very positive things and give you a positive aspect on life if you approach it in the right way. Most people are told when you feel sad, sit at home, be sad. It's not your fault. You've got a disease. You're depressed. Be a bitch about it. I argue the opposite. I say when you feel sad, good. Take all that energy and convert it into something that's going to be a positive force for your life. It's a laziness, it's an easy way out, it's a good excuse, and the last 5 years have proved it, but the majority of people are just fucking sleepwalking. They have no plan to achieve any of their goals, they don't try very hard at shit, everything is someone else's fault. When my ship comes in, don't worry, in a few years I'm gonna be here. How? Where do you
like
they're just fucking from, amateurs.
Why do you born like that and they just never learn?
No, I don't. I think it's to a degree, obviously there's going to be some genetic disposition, but I also think it's a mindset you can adopt as a whole. You have to be hard on yourself. You have to be extremely self-reflective. If I forget my house keys or my car keys, I punish myself for that. If I look for my phone and I can't find it within 3 minutes, I punish myself. My point is this, so the reason I'm making it is that I talk about professionalism. It's very easy to be a professional at the big things if you're a professional at all the small things. I'm never late. I'm always up at the time I said I'm going to be up. I never miss that phone call I'm supposed to miss. I don't misplace my shit. I did dumb, normal stuff. And I hang around normal people and they're like, oh, wait, where's my wallet? Wait.
Wait,
one sec. I'm 10 minutes late. Of course you don't achieve shit. You're a fucking dummy. Have you ever seen anybody who's done anything fantastic and they didn't have papers? When they got to the top, they go, Another thing that's interesting is I've never seen anybody do anything on accident. This is what's actually very interesting. When somebody tells me what their plan is to achieve their goals and they never have one, and it's fucking dumb.
Wait, did you just say you didn't have any goal?
No, I don't. But I'm saying if someone has a goal, I say, well, what's your plan? And I haven't got a plan. I've never seen anyone do anything amazing on accident.
So you just said you've gotten so far, you don't have any plans.
No, but it's certainly, I know what I'm supposed to do, and I do it day after day. I don't have a pre-designated, goal by this date. But I know I want to become stronger, so I just train. For example.
Got it.
But what I'm saying is, I've never seen anybody do anything amazing by accident. So what this extrapolates out, let's use the gym and money, right? Have you ever found a guy in the gym who's in fantastic shape, and you said, why are you in such good shape? How'd you get so big? And he goes, oops.
Just happened.
I feel like
they have to take absolute responsibility, which is the first thing. The second thing, they have to get competence, and competence is going to allow you to have confidence. You're not going to be good at shit if you're bad at shit. You have to be good at things. You're only going to be confident at things if you're good at things. I know what I'm good at and what I'm bad at. So you have to go out there and take risks. You have to make mistakes, and you have to risk it all. And once again, this comes down to competition. I think competition is such an important thing in the masculine world.
Yeah.
I grew up in the chess world, and I went into the fighting world. It was all extremely competitive. It's competition driven. You can't make excuses. If I sit here and say I lost a fight, cool, you lost a fight. But I lost a fight, but my gloves, when they were wrapped up, my hand was hurting, and then they
Excuses.
Bro, you lost, G.
Yeah.
Like, no one gives a fuck. Like, you have to understand that excuses don't matter. Nobody cares. Life's binary. Winners or losers. And you just have to take absolute responsibility for all. It doesn't matter what avatar you decide to absorb or who you decide to be. You can decide to be it, and you know true in your heart if you're giving 100% of your energy towards becoming it or not. Doesn't matter if you want to become a famous musician. Doesn't matter if you want to become a bodybuilder. Doesn't matter if you want to become a pro fighter. Doesn't matter what you want to be. You know in your heart if you're actually trying or not. You have to decide what you want to be and try and become it. And a lot of the people who are genuinely unhappy or miserable in their hearts know they're not trying that hard. Believe in ghosts, you're scared of the haunted house. If you're in a haunted house and you don't believe in ghosts, you're just in a house and you don't care. So I don't like the idea when someone explains to me the idea of one day waking up and being miserable and not wanting to live anymore, and it's nothing to do with my circumstances and I have no power over it, and no matter how good my life is, I'm still gonna feel terrible and I'm gonna wanna die. That's not an idea I subscribe to. That's not a reality I'm ever gonna want. But that's depressed is real.
Yeah.
Depression as a disease, I do not subscribe to. The idea, I believe, that if you feel depressed, something is depressing you, and you should try your best to fix it. You should take control of your life and do your best to fix it. The idea, but they don't say that. They don't talk that. They say depression like it's this magic thing that comes out the sky and it gets in your brain. You're sad no matter what, and there's nothing you can do about it, and you need to only take pills. And I think that's a very bad way to look at the world, and that's a bad idea to subscribe to. And if you start to feel depressed, let's say your girl leaves you and you start to feel depressed, but you believe in the idea of depression, you're now going to start diagnosing yourself as clinically depressed, self-hypnosing yourself into hypnotizing yourself into being clinically depressed. And it's amazing how you can speak things into existence. I cannot become depressed because I don't believe in it.
So how about chemical imbalances in the brain?
Bullshit. That's all been disproved anyway.
Really?
It's all been disproved. Firstly, that's all been disproved. And secondly, even if that was true, even if I had a chemical imbalance in my brain, I do not believe in depression. That's just who I am as a person. I don't believe in it. I do not believe in things that take power away from me. So, and people sit there and they try very hard to convince me it's real, which is actually quite interesting because it's always usually depressed people who sit there and try very hard to defend this idea. If you're so scared, if depression's so terrible, why are you sticking up for it? Why are you fighting so hard to convince me it's such a powerful force? Why shouldn't you be doing the opposite? Shouldn't you be listening to me? Whose team are you on? Like, do you want to be depressed? Like, it's insanity, these people who are so desperate to push this idea. Then you add in the pharmaceutical element and the fact that everyone's taking these fucking drugs, messing with their brain chemistry. It's garbage. I think that you feel depressed sometimes because you're human.
So you felt depressed at times, would you say?
We're all human.
Yeah, because I felt depressed. I mean, I had some major, it might not sound big, but some major dental surgery done, and it really got me down for a while. But my businesses and running those, to be honest, picked me up because it was like, I can't be like this. Get in there, do some business.
Well, completely. And also, let's look at it. Let's pretend I'm completely wrong, right? We can look at situational depression, like you just described. We can talk about brain imbalance and chemical imbalance. We can talk about clinical depression that you get and it's chronic and there's nothing you can do about it. Whatever. Let's pretend all these things are completely true. The best option, the best thing to do is still to get up, be an adult, control your emotions, be stoic, and do the things you're supposed to do day after day. Laying in bed and doing nothing is never going to be the best option. The best option is still to go to the gym, to work hard, to run your business, to be successful. So it doesn't matter. We're talking about the different positions on the chessboard. But if the rules of the game remain the same, regardless of the position, you're still trying to win. You still have to do the same things. So does it even matter at this point? If you come along and say he's depressed because of X and he's depressed because of Y and he's depressed because of Z, and the answer to all of them is still the same thing, then I don't give a fuck why you're depressed. All I know, what I will say as a matter of fact, is this world is hyper competitive, especially as a man. Most men are walking through life and they don't realize that it's constant competition. I was driving here, even as I was driving here, I was looking out the windows, and all these people just walking around. One of them had a fucking croissant. One of them was dressed like a dickhead because it's London and he fucking looks cool. Some of the dude just talking shit on the phone. Some other guy with headphones in, waiting to be fucking murdered, wouldn't even hear it coming. And all these NPCs, I'm just looking at them going, do they realize they're in endless, constant competition? Every single pound they want, someone else wants. Every single girl they want, someone else wants. There are people like me out here. I will destroy, you could get all 30 of them in a room and I will sit by myself and absolutely annihilate them in any single metric. And they're just sitting there just fucking floundering and wandering through life, unaware of how competitive the world is.
Well, and whinging how unfair
and
it is.
whinging how unfair it is. And this is my point. If the world is truly that competitive, you do not have time to be depressed because it's a non-competitive mind state. You could be depressed for X, Y, Z, whatever. I'm not depressed. And I want the money you want, and I want the girl you want, and I want the status you want, and the car you want, and the house you want. And I'm gonna get it, and you're fucking not. And that's the bottom line of life.
If you gave that guy...
Pills just numbs it.
Mask.
Yeah. Masks.
Well, it's not a holistic way to treat it, is it? Whereas what you're saying is more so.
Yeah, what I'm saying is you're playing a game, and it's a competitive game, and you need to build a mindset that allows you to be ultra competitive. If you want to sit there and say, no, I want a non-competitive mindset, then fine. You know what you call people who do not win competitions?
Losers.
Correct.
Dan is the first loser.
It's true. Yeah. And it's just a bottom line of life. And it's kind of interesting because everyone pretends they give a fuck, but nobody does. Especially women. And I know I get attacked for women, but women truly don't give a fuck. If you ask a woman the kind of man she wants, she will never say depressed or sad. Ever. She wants a man who is ultra capable, ultra competent. I've literally had women say to me, you know what I love being around you? I'm like, what? I don't have to think. I'm like, what do you mean? Because I just turn up and like, we just walk in the hotel and everyone, staff do anything we want and the jet's just on the runway and we just land and I'm in this beautiful place and I don't even know where I am and I get to just turn my brain off and it's great. Like, they want someone who is fun and spontaneous and charismatic and successful. They don't have time for sad dudes. They don't care. So the world doesn't care. The world has never given a shit about sad men. So if you're gonna sit there and self-diagnose yourself as a sad man, you're gonna have a shit life and nobody's ever gonna give a fuck and you're gonna perpetually lose forever. And that is your decision. I am so scared of being that person. The idea of that terrifies me to the point where I don't even want to accept that as a reality that can possibly exist. I don't give a shit what happens to me in my life. I don't care how bad it is. I don't care if the worst, most heinous things I can possibly imagine happen to me. I know that my sadness, my depression will be temporary because I will never stay a loser. It is against my creed. It's not in my DNA.
Yeah.
The thing about society and MSM and all this garbage and the Matrix, they try and convince you, don't worry if you're being a loser because people feel sorry for you and you'll get attention for it and you'll be okay in the end. And it's all this temporary fixes of dopamine by saying, I'm sad. Don't worry, bro, you'll be okay. But it's bullshit. They don't care long term. The world doesn't care. Nobody really cares. Chicks don't care. Business doesn't care. You are going to fail.